Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Deep Dive Daily. Okay, let's get right into it because today we are tackling something I know so many of us have been feeling lately: brain fog. You know that feeling, right? Where your brain just feels like it's buffering. You're not necessarily sleepy, a cup of coffee doesn't fix it. You just feel slow, fuzzy, like your sharpness is just gone. Well, if you've been feeling it, you are definitely not alone.
And get this isn't just in our heads. This is a real, measurable phenomenon that has been quietly growing into a full-blown, modern epidemic.
So the internet gave this feeling a name: brain fog. But here's the really frustrating part. It's not an official medical diagnosis. You can go to a doctor, get a brain scan, and it'll probably come back looking totally normal. But we know that feeling is 100% real.
And the data is pretty shocking. A huge study in 2024 showed that after people recovered from COVID, there were some serious drops in IQ points. We're talking 3 points for a short bout of it, 6 points for long COVID, and a wild 9-point drop if you were in the ICU. That is a massive, massive impact.
But here is the major plot twist. This isn't just a post-COVID thing. Research shows this whole trend started picking up steam years before, around 2016. That means the pandemic didn't start this fire, it just poured a whole bunch of gasoline on it. This is a true civilizational problem. To really understand what's happening in our brains, we actually need to go way back in time. And just a heads up, this is a pretty uncomfortable story from World War I. So picture it. The year is 1916. A British soldier, Harry Farr, is on the battlefield. His commanders are screaming at him to advance, to get out there and fight. But Harry, he couldn't move. He was just frozen. For this, he was arrested. And he was ultimately executed by a firing squad for cowardice. But his case leaves us with this really haunting question. Was it actually cowardice? Or was something else going on?
And what's absolutely wild is that Harry wasn't alone. Over 300 other soldiers from Britain and the Commonwealth were executed for the exact same reason. They just froze up.
I know what you're thinking. That seems like a world away from us feeling foggy while staring at a spreadsheet. But believe it or not, the key to unlocking our modern brain fog is hidden in what was happening inside their brains in that exact moment. Okay, let's dive into this. Because our brain isn't some magical, limitless supercomputer. It's actually more like a biological circuit, and it has some very clear, hardwired rules it has to follow. Our brain basically runs on a fundamental survival algorithm, and it has two main laws. First, protect life at all costs. And second, be incredibly, incredibly efficient with energy. That's it. Everything it does comes back to those two things. So we've all heard of fight or flight. But what happens when fighting is a guaranteed loss and running means you'll definitely get caught? Well, evolution came up with a third option: freeze. Sometimes the smartest survival move is to do nothing at all, and that is exactly what happened to Harry Farr. So here's where it all clicks into place for us. How is this ancient survival circuit that was designed for life or death situations responding to our crazy modern world? See, in the past, threats were like a lion showing up. It was terrifying, for sure, but then the lion would leave. The threat was short-term. Today, our threats are psychological, and they are relentless. It's the endless deadlines, the social media pressure, the constant notifications. Our lion never, ever leaves. When you have way more stress and stimulation than you have recovery, your brain enters a low-power, self-preservation mode. And that feeling, that shutdown state, is what we experience as brain fog. It's that simple. There's a scientific name for this: allostatic overload. And what's so important to get is that your brain isn't broken, it's being smart. It's protecting itself. It senses this constant, high-threat situation with no end in sight, so it starts to slow down the high-energy functions like your focus and your memory just to conserve resources. Brain fog literally saves your capacity, just like the freeze response saved lives.
So, the big question: can we actually fix this? The answer is 100% yes. But it's not about finding some superficial hack. We have to address the root cause of this overload.
I really dug through the research on this, and it all boils down to three incredibly powerful, really impactful solutions. So let's move on to the very first one. Our modern world is pure chaos, and our brain sees that as a threat.
So step one is to build structure back into our lives. Create routines like a set wake up time. Make decisions quickly. This creates a sense of control and predictability, which signals to our brain that we're safe, and that immediately lowers stress hormones.
Okay, number two, think of this as fertilizer for your brain. Seriously, just 20 minutes of aerobic exercise a day, getting your heart rate up, releases this incredible protein called BDNF. It flushes out stress and literally helps you grow new brain cells and restore your memory. It's amazing. And finally, number three, we have to activate the brain's nightly cleaning crew. When you're in a deep sleep, this system gets to work, cleaning out all the metabolic wastes that build up during the day. Prioritizing deep sleep is absolutely non-negotiable for mental clarity. The simplest tip, no screens for at least 45 minutes before you go to bed. So, the real takeaway here is that your brain isn't weak. It's just a brilliant piece of ancient hardware trying to run in a totally insane modern world. The real freedom, the real way to fight back, comes from adding smart constraints and structure to your life. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this, share it around, and of course, subscribe for more. Drop a comment below with your views. I'd love to hear them. See you tomorrow at the same time.